All right, let's talk about the 1996 Masters tournament. So in the 96 Masters, Greg Norman had a 6-shot lead going into that final round. Nick Faldo goes out, shoots a 67, which at the Masters is obviously a phenomenal score, especially on Sunday. Greg Norman goes out and shoots a 78 to lose by 5 shots. So to go out there, first off, thinking that if you're 6 shots down, you're going to have a chance of winning is a tall order, number one, for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's hard to make up that many shots, but also when you see other people playing that well where they were able to build a 6-shot lead, you really don't see any weaknesses in their game that week, especially when, love him or hate him, because a lot of us, it's very easy to not be a big Greg Norman fan right now, and I wouldn't necessarily say I'm the biggest Greg Norman fan right now either, but love him or hate him, you have to acknowledge he was known as being one of the best drivers of the golf ball at all time. Well, if you look at Augusta National, it's going to be difficult no matter what you do or how good your skill set is. But if you're known as being one of the best drivers ever, well, that's the biggest difficulty of that golf course, is putting yourself in position off the tee so you have, first off, a shot in the green, but also you can put it in the correct spot on the green so you can make birdies and avoid bogeys. If you have a 6-shot deficit going against, at the time, the best driver of the golf ball, it's going to feel like it's impossible to win. But despite that, Nick Faldo felt like he had a chance, and he was inspired to go out there and shoot 7 under, shoot a 65. And as luck would have it for Nick Faldo, Greg Norman played a terrible round of golf, and Faldo ended up winning. But you still, despite how Greg Norman played that round, you have to go out there with a crazy mindset of thinking, even though this guy, who ended up being number 1 in the world at some point, and is the best driver of the golf ball, and is playing phenomenal this week, you have to believe it's still going to be your week, even though all the stars are aligning for this other person. Because all it takes is one bad shot or one bad stretch of holes or one bad round, and all of a sudden it turns in your favor. So even though sometimes you're not playing your best, or you're playing well and somebody else is just playing some of their best golf, playing better than you, you never know when it's going to turn in your favor. Or even if you're not playing in a tournament, even if you're just playing by yourself, you might go out there and you might make some bogeys to start your round, but you never know. You might have a stretch where all of a sudden you hit 3 birdies in a row and everything gets turned around and you're stoked. But if you go out there thinking that's going to be impossible, you start pressing, you start trying too hard, you're probably not going to hit those stretches where it turns around. But if you can keep your cool, keep your patience, and just keep trying your best, all of a sudden, again, sometimes you're going to have those days because you're staying out of your own way, and it flips around for you. So I just think it's a good story of perseverance, and even though the odds are daunting, if you can stick around and wait for your moments, you never know because they might come, and you also never know if you're playing against somebody. They might all of a sudden have a bad round, and you might have a chance of still winning.